I have a confession. I have never played a Final Fantasy game. That is, unless you count Dirge of Cerberus on PS2 as one. If you do, then I played that. With these new releases like Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy Rebirth, and also seeing the love people have for this series, I feel like I'm missing out on something. After all, Final Fantasy is one of the most, if not the most famous RPG series of all time. So, I decided to play them. All of them, starting from the beginning. Since I know nothing about the lore and the only characters I know are the ones that showed up on Kingdom Hearts. And in this video, we're getting the trophies for Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3. Subscribe if you want to follow my journey through all, and I say all, of these games. But without further ado, let's get into Final Fantasy 1. The world lies shrouded in darkness. The winds die, the seas rage, the earth decays, but people believe in a prophecy, patiently awaiting its fulfillment. When darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come. After a long journey, 4 young travelers did at last appear, and in the hand of each was clutched the crystal. The game starts with the heroes arriving at Cornelia, where the king asks for a favor in return of rebuilding a bridge after he recognizes who we are. Garland has taken refuge in the Chaos Shrine, which lies to our north. From there, we went to the Chaos Shrine, and after defeating Garland and rescuing the princess, we show up back at the throne room, where the king thanks us. A hero's journey. Save Princess Sarah by defeating Garland. Okay, so that's going to be our first trophy. Then I crossed the bridge, and although I didn't know where to go, I wanted to explore a bit. I ended up in Provoca, where after fighting some pirates, I somehow got a ship. From there, I got to Elfheim and explored the surrounding areas. I also got the Mystic Key by doing the small quest, which allowed me to open a lot of previous locked doors. And while I was running around killing monsters and exploring, I got a bunch of trophies. Field Research Basic. Completed 10% of the bestiary entries. Okay. Didn't know that was a thing. Righteous Warrior. Defeated 100 monsters. Thrifty Spender. Obtained 10,000 gil. Experienced Warrior. Defeats 300 monsters. Rookie Treasure Hunter. Collects treasure from 10% of the chests. Legendary Warrior. Defeated 500 monsters. I met some dwarves, and one of them set some explosives for me. Okay, so I guess that's it. That's Mount Dorgar. And now I just gotta get back on the ship and see what's on the other side. The newly opened passage took me right to Melmond, and after taking a look at the town and spending some more gil, I went exploring the surrounding areas. Okay, so we are in the Cavern of Earth. This is where we can get like the first crystal that we need for a trophy, and also one of the 4 that you have to be able to complete the game. And while looking for the chests inside Cavern of Earth, I fought against the vampire. I couldn't keep going from there, so I had to go back and go into another cave I've discovered earlier. From there, I talked to the sage, obtaining an earth rod so I could progress on Cavern of Earth. I also got 2 trophies in the meantime. One for obtaining 50,000 gil. Smart Saver. Obtained 50,000 gil. And another for obtaining 100,000 gil. Money bags. Obtained 100,000 gil. Okay, I made my way back. And I can go down. Nice. Okay, boss fight. And Earth's Blessing. Restore the Earth Crystal's light. Okay, so since the Earth Crystal is done, let's go back on the boat and see what else is out there. Now that we can travel like the external part of the map, there are probably like a bunch of cities that we didn't have access before, and we do now. So we have to go for the other three crystals, and I have no idea where they are, but I think that if we look around, we may be able to find them. At Crescent Lake, I talked to a sage next to a canoe, and then went to Mount Gulk to face the next boss for the Fire Crystal. On the last floor, I got some chests and healed up for the battle. Rekindle Flame. Restore the Fire Crystal's light. Field Research Advanced. Completed 50% of the bestiary entries. Then I went to Cavern of Ice to get the Levy Stone. While opening chests, I got this trophy. Veteran Treasure Hunter. Collected treasure from 50% of the chests. Okay, so we're halfway there. I summoned the airship with the Levy Stone, and then went to the Citadel of Trials to get a rat's tail. Okay, so since I have the rat's tail, I am going to speak to Bahamut, and he's going to give me an upgrade for my classes for my characters. So we just have like to follow the corridor or something, and we can talk to him. Token of Courage. Gain titles of courage from Bahamut. After that, I did a bunch of stuff for a bunch of people until the mermaid let me use her yellow submarine, taking me to the Sunken Shrine. Revitalizing Waters. I don't know if I said that right, but there it is. Restored the Water Crystal's light. After the fight and with the Rosetta Stone in hand, I went back to Melmond to talk to an NPC there. By doing this, I'm able to speak to the people of the city I was going next. There, I got an item that would allow me to enter the Mirage Tower, my next destination. From the Mirage Tower, I got to the Flying Fortress. Adventurous Wayfarer. Traveled to all the map locations. I explored the whole thing and opened all the chests I could find until I got to the last floor, where I had to fight Tiamat for the last crystal. Wind's Caress. Restored the Wind Crystal's light. Okay, so that's all 4 crystals done. But before leaving the Flying Fortress, there was another thing to be done. Find and fight Warmech. This boss spawns randomly and only in this part of the map, and I needed to defeat it for this trophy. The Warmech has a 3 in 64 chances of spawning, but I feel like I had way more than 64 encounters. I even got this trophy while looking for it. Seasoned Hero. Reached level 50 for all party members. Nice, and no Warmech yet. So I'm just going to keep running up and down on the same map until it shows up. I spent around 2 hours looking for the Warmech, which I think is an okay time since it seemed to take longer for a lot of people writing about it on the internet. But with that out of my way, I restocked on items and went back to Mount Duragar to get Excalibur. Sword of Myth. Obtain Excalibur. On the Chaos Shrine, we get sent 2000 years in the past, and there we have to fight the 4 bosses again. I think I was kind of over-leveled for these bosses, since I gained a bunch of levels while trying to find the Warmech, so the fights were quite easy. And while going for the 3rd to the 4th boss, I went into a room to open a chest, not knowing it was the last chest. So if I opened all of the other chests of the game, this one should pop a trophy. Legendary Treasure Hunter. Collected treasure from 100% of the chests. Then I fought against the final boss of the whole game, getting one more trophy after the credits. Prophecy foretold. Defeated chaos and restored peace to the world. Okay, so now that the game is done, I have 2 trophies left, not counting the platinum, and so this is going to be like the quickest cleanup I have ever done. I have to find 3 monsters for the bestiary, and I have to do like the 15 minigame, and then there's the platinum. So I am looking for I'm looking exactly for this, and then I have 2 more to find, so it's going to be pretty quick. Okay, so that's the second one, the soldier. So that is the last one that I need. And field research professional. Completed 100% of the bestiary entries. So now we just have to do the 15 game, and that's it. Hidden game. And Master of One. Okay, I didn't even need to play it. So there's the platinum for the first Final Fantasy. So now we dive right into Final Fantasy II. This game is said to be a 2 out of 10 in difficulty, which is easier than the previous one. But at the same time, there are a few missable trophies tied to fighting chests, defeating enemies, and visiting locations, so I gotta keep an eye on that while playing this game. It starts with our city being attacked, and we're thrown into a battle we can't win. Then we get revived thanks to Princess Hilda, but the 4th member of our party is missing, so the characters go out to find him. I found the leveling system on this game extremely weird, and I didn't quite understand exactly how it works, but I managed to get a few levels while going from Altair to Finn, I guess. I didn't know how strong or how weak my characters were, but they seemed to be doing good in battle, and that's what mattered. We also got our first trophy, one for slaying 100 creatures. Apprentice Warrior. Defeated 100 monsters. Nice. I think that's our first trophy as well. In the same town, we go to a tavern and meet this prince. He says a few things, gives us a ring, and then dies. Followed by victory music, which for some reason I thought was kind of funny. We show the ring to the princess. Password Wild Rose. The rebellion commenced against the Palamician Empire. And after a bit of talking, we travel to a few cities. Until we meet Joseph, but he doesn't believe us at all when we say the princess sent us, so he makes us do a dungeon for him. And while doing it, we got another trophy. This time for slaying 300 creatures. Experienced Warrior. Defeated 300 monsters. And on the same dungeon, after defeating a total mini-boss, I got the trophy for completing 10% of the bestiary. Field Research Basic. Completed 10% of the bestiary entries. Later, after getting out of the dungeon, while I was going back to a city, I got the trophy for acquiring 10,000 gil as well. Like the previous game, I had a feeling that these were going to come all naturally, which is good, since I wouldn't have to grind for money later. Thrifty Spender. I got some new equipment and traveled to another city, where the Dreadnought was located. After a pretty short dungeon, I got a trophy for defeating 500 monsters. Legendary Warrior. Defeated 500 monsters. And after seeing the Dreadnought destroying some cities, I got this one. Empire's Blitz. The Empire destroyed numerous towns with the Dreadnought. I went back to Altair and talked to the princess, and then to some other people. In short, we had to acquire the Snowcraft to go into a cavern that contained an item we needed to destroy the Dreadnought. And in the same cavern, I got the trophy for opening 10% of the chests. Rookie Treasure Hunter. Collected treasure from 10% of the chests. With the item acquired, I then went to Cash One Keep, where I was able to use the item I just got to open a door and do another dungeon. After a boss fight, I got a torch and used it to get the Sunfire. With that out of my way, I made a quick stop at the Chocobo Forest, where I made this cute friend. It took me back to Altair, just for me to find out the princess was kidnapped together with an airship, making me go out to find her. So I walked to the Dreadnought, which is where she's probably at, and broke into the thing. This is a one-time location, so all of the chests are missable, as well as one enemy for the bestiary. I really took my time in this dungeon so I wouldn't miss anything and then have to start a whole new game. I also got this trophy while progressing through the dungeon. Smart Saver. Obtained 50,000 gil. So after freeing Sid and the princess, we threw the Sunfire we acquired earlier into the core of the Dreadnought and blew it up, escaping in the airship with them, back to Altair, getting this trophy. Counterattack. Blow up the Dreadnought. After that, we had to go to Castle Deist to find a Wyvern. I got some items and went to get a ship that would get me to the castle. There was a quick fight in the ship, but after that was resolved, a new party member joined us, unlocking this trophy. Pirate's Mate. Obtained a ship from the pirate Layla. So we got to Castle Deist, opened all the chests there, and talked to an NPC that sent us to Dice Cavern to retrieve a pendant. With the pendant in hand, we talk to a Wyvern and he gives us a Wyvern egg, so we take it back to Dice Cavern and put it in the Life Spring. Back at the cavern, I got this trophy while trying to find the Life Spring. Moneybags. Obtained 100,000 gil. Awesome, so that's the last money related trophy in this game. Okay, so I gotta put the egg. The egg rests deep at the bottom of the Life Spring. We left the cavern and went back to Altair, where we healed the party and went to talk to the princess. I mean... wait... Oh god. Okay, that's less weird now. So of course we gotta do the Coliseum to get the real princess back. We have sort of a mini boss fight and then get thrown in jail, from where we quickly escape, rescuing the princess and fleeing to Altair again. There, a guard tells us that we should visit the rebel camp. We talked to the NPCs there and then went to Castle Finn to take it back, which is exactly what we do after another boss fight, popping this trophy. Rebel Victory. After some conversation, we learned that we need to get the ultimatum. There are 2 masks needed to be able to get it, and one of them is on a secret part of the castle, so we went there to retrieve it. Then we went to another city and put the mask on the statue there before going to the tropical island. Also, I got this trophy right when I was leaving. Field Research Advanced. Completed 50% of the bestiary entries. And while exploring the tropical island, I got this one. Veteran Treasure Hunter. Collected treasure from 50% of the chests. A bunch of battles later, I fought against the boss of this dungeon and acquired the other mask. I then went to a cave where I put the mask on a doppelganger of a member of the party, and later acquired the crystal rod. So we were going to the tower to retrieve the ultimatum when this hole opened up in the ocean, swallowing the ship and everyone else. We landed inside the Leviathan, where we meet this dude, the Last Dragoon, getting a trophy for it. Last Dragoon. Then he joined our party and we got to another ship, escaping the creature and finally going to the tower. Aside from the absurd amount of monsters I had to kill, there were some bosses on some of the floors. At that point I was awfully overleveled, so they didn't pose that much of a challenge. I quickly got to the room where the ultimatum was located, and before actually interacting with it, there were 4 more crystals, each one giving me a nice buff in a stat. But with the tome acquired, it was time to leave the tower and go back to Finn. And of course, to another situation. There's a cyclone approaching, and after seeing the wyvern egg finally hatch and popping a trophy for it, we resupply and go into the cyclone, because that sounds like a great idea. And yes, there is a dungeon inside the cyclone. We went through the floors until we got to the Emperor, who made fun of us and then got beaten to a pulp by my awfully overleveled party. So with the cyclone dealt with and the Emperor being dead, that should be it, right? Okay, that's cute. But of course that there's a little bit more tragedy bound to happen. Dark Knight Leon? Wait. Isn't this like the 4th party member? What a f***ing traitor! Our missing 4th member turned evil and took the Emperor's place, becoming the new one. So we have to murder him too. And we even got a trophy for it. New Palamecia. After some more talking and we get in the airship, we had to go to Castle Palamecia. But things of course took a weird turn. Leon, the 4th party member, was there giving his villain speech when the Emperor rose from hell and took the castle. And for some reason, he decided to fight alongside us and everyone seemed okay with it. And we got another trophy. Allied offensive. Past allies joined the rebel army. But before continuing the final leg of the story, I went back to talk to the princess one more time, getting the last password I needed for this trophy. Memory lane. Learned all passwords. Alright. And then I went to Diced one more time, so I could get Excalibur and the trophy related to it. Sword of Myth. There were also some monsters missing from my bestiary that I wanted to find, so I could pop the trophy right at the end of the game. And I also wanted to get a spell and a weapon to level 16 for other 2 trophies. They seem to be taking a while to level up, so I cranked their boost to 4x in the settings and started hitting and healing my party members to do it faster, until eventually I got both trophies. Magic Tactics. Leveled up 1 magic spell to skill level 16. Weapon Tactics. Leveled up 1 weapon type to skill level 16. Let's go! And then, the only remaining thing was to go to the Jade Passage, complete the game, and get the rest of the trophies there. So that's what I did, getting a trophy the moment I stepped on Pandemonium, the last map of the game, and also the one with the best soundtrack. Adventurous Wayfarer. Traveled to all the map locations. I progressed through the dungeon, and after some boss fights, the moment I was dreading arrived. Another secret boss that depends on RNG to spawn, just like the War Mech on the previous game. At least it didn't take nearly as long this time. And it's dead. Nice. So it's just the final boss now for the Bestiary trophy. Okay, so if I did everything right, this should be the last chest. Yes, Legendary Treasure Hunter. Collected treasure from 100% of the chests. Field Research Professional. Completed 100% of the Bestiary entries. War's End. Defeated the Emperor and restored peace to the world. And Master of 2. That was so much fun. And now we go to Final Fantasy III, where the leveling system is not weird like on Final Fantasy II. On this one, we go back to the Warriors of Lightblood, but this time the main characters don't have a crystal each. They instead get chosen by one of them to save the world. And we get a trophy for that, marking the beginning of this journey. Hope of the Wind. Received power from the Wind Crystal. The party then go to another city, as well as a castle. Both of them are afflicted by a weird curse, where everyone looks like ghosts. Turns out a djinn cursed the place, and we have to go there and kill it. We get a few trophies along the way, nothing too special as they are very similar to the other trophies from the previous two games. Then we meet the princess and fight the djinn, saving the people from the weird curse. Then we need to get Seed, the owner of the airship we've been using, to his town. Together, we have to break a huge boulder that's on the way, unfortunately destroying the airship in the process. But at least we get a trophy for that. When we get to the city, we discover that a guy is missing, so we go find him. We meet Dash and get attacked by Bahamut up there, who in this game seems to be evil or something. Although I would also attack tiny people if they were too close to my babies, so I can judge him. Dash has no memories and asks to come with us. A bit more of running around and killing things and we get a boat. We use the boat to go to a tower called Tower of Owen, where Dash ends up remembering who he is and what is his purpose. We then sail, now without him, to try and find the fire crystal. We get to a cavern inhabited by dwarves, where we learn that their Horn of Ice was stolen. So we fight a boss to retrieve it and give it back to them. Thing is, now both horns get stolen, so you have to chase after the boss we just defeated, and it ends up that he's going to the same place we are. After the boss transformed and we dealt with it, we got a new title, new jobs, and a trophy. A fire. Received power from the fire crystal. Let's go. Our next destination was hinted when we got back to the dwarves, so we went there and got immediately captured. This was a one-time dungeon and I took my time getting every chest and enemy there until I got to another boss fight. This one was kinda interesting because the boss changed resistances every once in a while, so sometimes your attacks would heal him, even though they were doing damage on the previous round. With the boss dealt with, we loot Castle Argus, make our ship fly and visit some towns, getting these trophies on the way. Smart Saver. Obtains 100,000 gil. Senior Worker. Level up 1 job to level 50. Legendary Warrior. Defeated 500 monsters. From there, it was time to leave our floating island and see what's out there. We discovered that an earthquake sunk the continent and find a girl in a wrecked ship. She goes with us to the Temple of Water, where we fight another boss. There is one more earthquake and the party wakes up 3 days later, seeing that all of the land is back to the surface. And we also get this trophy. Hope of Water. Received power from the water crystal. We then went to a dungeon where everything is made of gold, enemies included. In the last room, you can see the last crystal, but after a boss fight, the boss shatters the crystal before dying, leaving the party without an idea of what to do. We are also able to unlock the airship that was kind of stuck, so although we're still missing the last crystal, at least now we can explore the rest of the world. That is, until we fly above the city, where the airship gets shot down. We quickly find out that Saronia is in war, and the king exiled his son, who asks for our help. So we help. We open a bunch of chests, getting this trophy. Veteran Treasure Hunter. I think this is for getting half of the chests, probably. And then take down the enemy that was manipulating the king. Being rewarded with our third airship in this game, as well as this trophy. A peaceful Saronia. Defeated Garuda and saved Saronia. We then fly to another continent, where we learn a bit about the villain and also find out that the true crystal we were missing is still intact, and that the crystal that was destroyed was actually just a random rock enchanted to produce gold. Our airship can now become a submarine, and we have to go to the Temple of Time to get an item there. Then we go wake up a lady with the loot that we just got, popping one more trophy. Waking from the Dreamland. Next, we need to get yet another ship. This one is called the Invincible, and it has its own store, bed, and fat chocobo, which is great. From there, we went to get the Fang of Earth, the last one we needed to break these statues. then went into the Ancient's Maze and got the Earth Crystal, for real this time. Hope of the Earth. Received power from the Earth Crystal. Then we went back to Doga's Manor, where he and Yune, the lady that we woke up earlier with the loot, were waiting for us so we could get the Eureka and the Circus Key. I got this trophy after the first boss fight in the dungeon. Management Laborer. Level up one job to level 99. And then the keys. From there, after some quick cleanup visiting locations, we have to go to the Ancient's Maze, past the part where the Earth Crystal was. Then we get to the Crystal Palace, which is where the entrance to Eureka is. This dungeon has the most powerful weapons in the game, like the Excalibur and the Masamune, two weapons present in the previous games as well. There is no trophy for obtaining the Excalibur this time, like in Final Fantasy 1 and 2, but after getting all weapons in Eureka, we get these two trophies. Item Detector. Obtained all hidden items. And Forbidden Weapons. Obtained all weapons sealed in Eureka. A while after, we're at the last floor of the Crystal Palace, so just a bit before the final boss. But there's one more thing I needed to do, and it is switching one of my classes to an Evoker. There's this trophy where you have to equip all 8 summons in one character, and since I'm aiming to get the Platinum by the end of the playthrough, this is the time to do it. Okay, so Summon Master, learned all summon magic, and I'm going to just switch back to the class I was using beforehand. We get to the final boss, and with the bunch of shuriken I bought earlier, the fight is very easy. This and the fact that I'm overleveled, of course. Then this happens. Okay, so this is like made for me to lose, basically. Yeah. So you get revived and sent to the World of Darkness right after, getting 2 more trophies. Adventurous Wayfarer. Traveled to all the map locations. Entered the darkness. Defeated Zendi and entered the World of Darkness. From there, we have to fight 4 bosses, one for each Dark Crystal. These Dark Crystals are kinda opposite to the crystals we looked for throughout the game, and since we are Light Warriors, of course there are Dark Warriors. After each boss battle, one of them shows up and says he will help us. So that's basically what we need to be able to damage the boss that just killed us. This stair should take us to the final boss, and I think I lost a chest somewhere, not on this map though, probably one on the floating continent, cause I opened what's supposed to be the last chest and I didn't get the trophy, but as long as it isn't on a missable location, I think I can get it after beating the game, so that's what I'm going to do. Alright, final boss time. This time we can probably hit her. Alright. This throw ability for the ninja is very OP. Field Research Professional. Completed 100% of the bestiary entries. A Vision of Hope. Defeated the Cloud of Darkness and restored peace to the world. Okay, so I was basically having a heart attack trying to find the chest, cause when I looked on like the map, all of the chests were found, so I thought that I missed the chest on a missable location and I would have to start the game all over again. And then I remembered that we have like the underwater part, and this is the chest that I'm missing. So thankfully I won't have to start over, so I just have to go through the dungeon again and find the last chest. So this is the one. Yes. Legendary Treasure Hunter, collected treasure from 100% of the chests, and Master of 3, earned all trophies. And here are the trophies for Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3. I will put the time that it took me to complete each one on the screen right next to each game. And to not make this extra long, I'm just going to say that I had a blast and that these games made me a fan of the series. They were extremely fun, and I am very, very excited to play the rest of the games in the series. Not only the numbered ones, but the other ones as well. And that is it for this video, so leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and I will see you soon. Ciao.